and our peers would be the city of Bellevue, Seattle, Tacoma, and Everett. We have two regional centers that are recognized by PSRC for regional significance, one being the Manufacturing Industrial Center that's out by the Bremerton Airport, and secondly, our Downtown Regional Center. Now, both of these geographic areas are regionally important for absorbing forecasted jobs and population growth for the Puget Sound. Our growth strategy is here's an illustrated version up here of this map. Any area that you see that has some color to it is proposed to have some sort of development increase with our comp plan update. The only place that we're increasing density would be the Downtown Regional Center. And these dashed black circles that you see up here on the screen, those represent high capacity transit stations that will occur in the future. Those are identified in the Kitsap Transit Long Range Plan. And essentially that means that you're guaranteed a bus every 15 minutes or less from the downtown transit center by the ferry up to the brand new transit center up in Silverdale. There's a more in-depth description of our growth strategy available in a video on bremerton2044.com. I know everyone can't come to these meetings, so each one of our city council meetings for the comprehensive plan is posted on bremerton2044.com with the help of BCAT, including a video on what are the root causes of homelessness and what can we do here locally to affect that through our comprehensive planning process. That video is only 8 minutes long. We recommend everybody watch that as well. Online available now, you'll find council district digests. So this breaks down how your neighborhood, your council district, how the comprehensive plan will affect your area. So there's a council district digest for each of the 7 districts in the city of Bremerton. And there's also flyers available for district meetings where you can come and meet your city council member and provide comments on how this comprehensive plan will affect your district. The city council review process for milestones is up here on the screen. The city council's reviewed the vision, goals, policies, and growth strategy, the land use element, housing element, and tonight the economic development element. So moving on to the actual economic development element, the topics that we have here for discussion, we'll talk about the vision of economic development, the adopted growth targets that we have for the city and Kitsap County, our Downtown Regional Center market study, Puget Sound Industrial Center market study, and our draft environmental impact statement alternatives. Just to let the city council and folks at home know that we have done outreach to the business community. We've coordinated with the Kitsap Economic Development Alliance, Greater Kitsap Chamber of Commerce, Kitsap Building Association, Kitsap County Association of Realtors, Port of Bremerton, Downtown Bremerton Association, Charleston Business District, Minette Business Association, and we have sent a postcard advertising the DEIS to every business located in city limits so that everybody is informed. So the vision of our economic development element, brought to you by PSRC and Vision 2050. So the regional economic vision is that in the year 2050, the region has a prospering and sustainable regional economy by supporting businesses and job creation, investing in all people and their health, sustaining environmental quality, and creating great central places, diverse community, and high quality of life. Our local vision for economic development is that as the only metropolitan city within Kitsap County, Bremerton expects to substantially expand employment and job variety over the next 20 years to support a growing economy and lifestyle diversity within the region. Moving on to those growth targets for the city and the remainder of Kitsap County. You'll see here up on the screen, this is from the Kitsap Regional Coordinating Council. This is adopted growth targets that are included in those countywide planning policies. And this includes the 2020 employment status for each one of those jurisdictions and urban growth areas, the amount that that jurisdiction will grow by 2044, and the overall 2044 employment target. And you'll see here, once again, the city is forecasted to grow by over 14,000 jobs by the year 2044. Now, how does that compare to the remainder of Kitsap jurisdictions? Well, the city of Bremerton is slated to grow the most. Our increase would be about 32% of overall employment. And next in line there would be the Silverdale UGA, which is forecasted to increase by 26% of overall employment. Moving on to market studies. So the city, whenever we're making a large change to our comprehensive plan or our zoning categories, usually that's accompanied by a market study. And we've done some of those in the past that you may remember. The Harrison Heights, formerly known as the Eastside Employment Center, had a market study accomplished in 2019, and that eventually led to a new sub-area plan being adopted in 2022. Once again, based off of market conditions studied at the time. The Charleston Area-Wide Planning Study, or CAPS plan, was published in 2020, and that led to comprehensive plan amendments and zoning code changes in 2021. So we find that market assessments can identify opportunities and barriers to redevelopment and inform potential zoning changes, and that has occurred with this comprehensive plan update as well. So we have two market studies, one of those being for the Downtown Regional Center, and that's available on bremerton2044.com. There's links to that in the council packet. And the zoning changes that are proposed from for this comprehensive plan update stem from this market study. And there are a number of interesting factoids contained in that market study. We have a few for you tonight. And one is that the Bremerton Downtown Regional Center was fairly flat for development from the year 2007 till about 2015. There was a great period of development prior to 2007 where downtown expanded greatly, but after that, it was fairly stagnant until about 2015, which is about when the Spyglass Apartments came online. And then you get an uptick in that multifamily residential development square footage ever since then, leading to that dramatic increase around 2023, which would be Marina Square. So we have more than doubled the square footage of our multifamily residential structures downtown since that about 2015, 2016 timeline. But the remainder of office and retail square footage has remained somewhat stagnant. But the good news for that is that as we do increase that population downtown, and that population needs goods and services, that we expect that those empty storefronts at some point will start backfilling with uses and services for the community as that multifamily residential develops going forward. Another interesting component to our downtown regional centers is the type of retail that we have. Over 50% of our downtown regional center contains storefront buildings. So that means that it's either in a mixed use building or it is a structure connected to another structure, which is a more walkable, urban, dense community than you might expect from our counterparts at Kitsap County, where the majority of their structures are freestanding commercials, which you might associate more with an auto-centric development pattern, big box type of businesses. I'll cut this out later. It's fine. So just a reminder for those folks at home, and to reiterate, we are planning district council meetings, and there are flyers available online where you have the opportunity to meet with your city council representative and have the comprehensive plan broken down on a district by district basis. That's happening right now in the month of November, and it coincides with our draft environmental impact statement comment period. So that comment period started on October 18th and it closes on December 2nd. So we're having a great outreach push right now to make sure that everybody is informed. So please check out, once again, bremerton44.com, 2044.com. So as I was saying earlier, the Downtown Regional Center Market Study, the proposed changes for downtown stem from that market study. And that market study will need to be updated in the near future. There are some changes in job numbers and activity units for the Naval Base Kitsap that need to be incorporated into that market study. You'll see up here on the map, Naval Base Kitsap is actually included in our downtown regional center. So if you look at the exact geography from PSRC, it also includes Naval Base Kitsap. That market study also suggests that we adopt displacement mitigation measures. As this development happens in the future, it could lead to displacement, so there should be mitigation to account for that. And it also advocates that this, or recommends that the city advocate for Kitsap transit, high capacity transit service in the future. Our second market study would be the Puget Sound Industrial Center market study. And this is required for PSRC. Our manufacturing industrial center status needs to meet PSRC benchmarks. And currently we are failing to do that in one key area. Every manufacturing industrial center is required to have a minimum of 4,000 jobs, and currently the city does not meet that benchmark. So we performed this market study to demonstrate how we will meet that benchmark in the future and retain that status. Why do we care? One, we have the regional responsibility for absorbing jobs, but two, we also have additional grant opportunities for transportation infrastructure from PSRC because we have this designation. So key findings from that market study is that the existing PSIC jobs, that we have just about 1,700 jobs inside of PSIC, or a little over 2,700 jobs if you include jobs based in PSIC, but the work might occur elsewhere. They recommend that Naval Base Kitsap evaluate PSIC for potential expansion opportunities, particularly during the SIOP process. And there are some suggested development guidelines. Our market study staff met with property owners and businesses in the Puget Sound Industrial Center, and they were asked on how we could improve that sub-area plan. We are taking those proposed changes from those property owners and incorporating them into the downtown sub-area plan with this comprehensive plan update. And that we should prioritize and fund infrastructure expansion at PSIC. We are failing to meet that benchmark in jobs, and a primary indicator of that is the lack of infrastructure, primarily sewer and water, inside of the sub area. So I know that our wastewater staff are updating the wastewater comp plan right now, and they are evaluating several different ways to get sewer service to PSIC with this comprehensive plan update. Moving on, Naval Base Kitsap. So you'll see up here on the screen some of our peers that have federal employment located in their communities. Very recognizable names like Washington, D.C., Norfolk, Honolulu. And this graph represents the share of overall federal employment for those locations. And you can see that Kitsap County, even amongst our peers, the percentage of federal employment is far greater in our community than in our peer communities that also host military, high levels of federal employment, which we are just over at 22% of market share there. And that's likely not going to change with the SIOP process that's currently going on at Naval Base Kitsap. The Shipyard Infrastructure Optimization Program, you can see here on the map, there are some areas that indicate new construction projects at Naval Base Kitsap, whether that's a new pier or a new building or even a new dry dock. There's a proposed multi-mission dry dock that would house a new kind of aircraft carrier and submarine. And in order to support SIOP, the Navy has asked for leasing at least 10,000 square feet of new office space, over 250,000 square feet of warehouse space. In March of 23, nearly $50 million contract was awarded for the design of the new multi-mission dry dock. And just last month, a $145 million contract was awarded for electrical upgrades that will run through 2029. There aren't cost estimates for the new multi-mission dry dock at this time, but a much more modest new dry dock that's being constructed at Pearl Harbor, the estimated cost of that is $3.4 billion, which is expected to create 2,500 local jobs through their infrastructure optimization process. So moving on to our draft environmental impact statement alternatives, our DEIS is available at bremerton2044.com if you'd like to look through that document. And our alternatives, you'll see here in this graph, alternative 1 is existing conditions. So what is our zoning code today and what jobs would that produce? Alternative 2 is our centers-based approach. And alternative 3 is a citywide growth pattern. Now, this is a zone by zone analysis of jobs that could be added through 2044. And at the bottom, you'll see that each one of these alternatives has a surplus of jobs. Unlike housing, where alternative 1 produced a deficit in housing for our existing zoning, alternative 1, 2, and 3 each provide a surplus of jobs through 2044. And the differences between these alternatives, you'll see here in bullets on the left, that the Bay Vista Subarea Plan proposes to have a current exclusively commercial zone transition to a mixed use zone. So you'll see that there is an actual drop in the number of jobs in Bay Vista for alternatives 2 and 3 because there is some residential being added to that area while retaining some commercial. And then also in the Puget Sound Industrial Center for alternative 3, there is a proposal to have a mixed use overlay for a parcel, which would take away from the number of jobs but add residential into the industrial center. And I'm happy to take questions.
Thank you. Always love your presentations, Mr. Jackson. I just want to establish that no actions being taken by council tonight, but this is an opportunity for the public to ask questions. We already had our chance at the study session last week. So are there any members of the public that have any questions on the comprehensive plan economic development element? I just wanted to say it because it sounded fun. So. And we're going to kind of enforce the 3-minute rule loosely, but still 3 minutes, because I know there's going to be a little bit of back and forth, but we need to figure out how to give you equal time as everybody else for public comment. Go right ahead.
Before the 3 minutes, can I just clarify, can I ask more than one question? And if I ask a question that has a yes or no answer, can I ask a follow-up?
Yes. So we, how do you feel about, are we able to stop the clock when she's, okay, let's do that. Thank you so much. And your name for public record, and please continue. Thank you.
Yeah. My name is Naomi Levine. I just had a couple of questions on slide 22 about how it was decided what types of businesses were on it. So my yes or no question that needs a follow-up before I can ask my last question is it only for-profit businesses that are listed as part of the regional center market study, or is there also like a look at non-profit businesses? Like libraries, they're not on the list.
Okay, so pause the clock. And Mr. Jackson, do you have an answer for that? Take turns at the mic. Thank you.
trouble. I don't know off the top of my head. I'd be happy to take a closer look. I get your contact information. We can circle back around.
And then probably this will be a thing we'll follow up on later, but I just wanted to know about grocery stores because we've got convenience stores, fast food, and restaurants, but no grocery stores. And I know there's grocery stores in Kitsap County, but I know that's been a long discussion about downtown regional center and just downtown everywhere about grocery stores. So yeah, that was my other question. And then just a suggestion on slide 21, if you could label the vertical axis, that would be really helpful. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Jackson, did you get all that? Oh, I like that. Thank you, Mr. Riley. I know. I love that. Come on down. He gets more than 3 minutes, by the way.
So in terms of grocery stores, just first and foremost, every time that someone says there isn't a grocery store, the community co-op gets really offended. I just wanted to make that comment. We do have a grocery store downtown. As far as scale is concerned, a larger grocery store, that is something that has been lobbied for in memoriam, and that we've always been hoping for that tipping point of population where we'll have a captive population enough downtown that will support a market, will support the market of creating a grocery market downtown. So it's something that we've all been waiting for. As population increases, we hope for that grocery store, but it is a market-based decision that is out of our control. We also have transit options, which could take you potentially to the Safeway on Callow, which is fairly short distance from downtown. So something also to consider.
Thank you. Does any other member of the public wish to comment on these items? Okay, going once, going twice. Okay, we will now move on to council reports. This is an opportunity for council members to provide an update on any issues or events taking place in their district, announce any events they've recently attended or plan to attend, or to speak on any other city-related topic. And since this is the first council meeting of the month, we will start with District 2, Councilor Fry.
Thank you. If I could get a slide up there. Thank you. Just go ahead and move to the next one. We had a great time at our joint district meeting. President Chamberlain and I hosted. She actually hosted because it was at Heathen's Bakery. And President Chamberlain, of course, is the owner and operator of that business. It was a really nice, warm environment for this kind of a conversation. And Garrett Jackson, of course, did a great job, sans PowerPoint, and it gave it, I think, a more intimate feel. There were a lot of questions. Garrett did a great job, of course, answering those questions. What I came away with, and I'm sure President Chamberlain will have a few things that she came away with. Folks in District 2, District 2 doesn't have any shoreline. It's a very low socioeconomic level district. And the folks there really prize what they do have, and that is their view. And so there were a lot of questions about how density and height and all of that will impact individuals and the district as a whole. And again, I think Mr. Jackson did very well in assuring people that a lot of those things aren't changing. And we are looking forward to more density. And that's something that we just have to do. And we are right along a state highway. And so growth is coming. We don't have a lot of land, so it's going up. And so it's evolution. I think that's hard for some people, but I think we were able to really listen to people's concerns and address those concerns. Although I wasn't, of course, able to reassure Diane Manning that she would always have her view of the Olympics. But she left, I think, Garrett, I think Diane left feeling much more informed and much more comfortable with the evolution of District 2 and how we're planning that. So I just want to give a shout out to our Garrett Jackson for doing a phenomenal job. And I also want to say thank you to President Chamberlain for hosting that. That was great. Just a quick point on the mayor's report. He talked about an award received by the conference center. I was really pleased to see that every single award went to a Bremerton business. And this is the Greater Kitsap Chamber of Commerce. So Bremerton was represented well. I couldn't go because I had a horrible head cold, still have it a little bit. But a good time was had by all, and really proud that our Bremerton businesses are doing so well and making a mark. So that's it for me.
Thank you. Next up, District 3, Councilor
Here,
Coughlin.
here on that. Just, hold it here. I want to thank for our public comment, Mr. Peterson. Thank you for coming in and showing that photo. I know I've shown in previous council reports, bike ride tours I've taken across Seattle and other cities showing protected bike infrastructure, and can attest how easy and safe other cities make it to ride a bike. So I appreciate you for showing that. And I think we can do that. I think we can be as good as other cities, and it's in line with the JCP and our planning and making Bremerton a more livable city. In the street sweeper and the leaves in the grate, appreciate you speaking up on that. Always encourage to use Bremerton 1 as well to report it when you see it, so our public works know about it. But we just got a briefing. We may have to do even more street sweeping due to new regulations, so it's good. It's good feedback to get. And then, yes, sad to see the passing of Quincy Jones. I wish he made it and we were able to do the groundbreaking sooner, so we could have seen it, but still really excited for that project to happen. All right, next slide. Just wanted to give a thanks to the Charleston Business District for the first annual Halloween, and of course, a thanks to our city staff and volunteers who made that possible. And then, of course, thanks to the Downtown Bremerton Association for the downtown trick or treat, which was still packed even despite the rain, and that was great to see everybody coming out for that and visiting our local businesses. Next slide. Also, great to celebrate groundbreaking of an affordable housing project in Manette, in my neck of the woods. Project's been in planning for a long time. I think it's well needed, and it's good to see projects scattered throughout the city. So really good to celebrate that with my fellow council members there. Next slide. Had the privilege to go to a conference in Walla Walla, Washington a couple weeks ago when I wasn't here for a council meeting. And learned a lot about that in terms of Main Street and historic preservation. I did want to point out, it was great to walk around their downtown. This is a picture of a number of streeteries that Walla Walla has embraced. They have a great code on their books they've had in place since 2001 that sets out clear expectations and regulations for the businesses to embrace the streeteries. And you can see that they're all different designs, but they're all aesthetically pleasing and welcoming and safe. And so I'm going to go in and keep encouraging mayor and administration to keep working on this. It's been over a year since we had the businesses in this chamber asking for this. So I really hope we can get this in place sooner than later so we can have our existing streeteries, the businesses can invest in them and upgrade them, and we can get some more. Next slide. And also wanted to point out some really neat plazas they had that were just really well maintained, plenty of chairs, accessible and usable, not one, but two right in the downtown. Next slide. And then, yes, much thanks to Mr. Jackson and DCD for helping host these series of open houses. So if you're in District 3 or nearby, come on down on November 18th. We'll be right on Pacific Avenue, 705, the new Greater Kitsap Visitors Chamber. They were kind enough to let the space for the meeting. So looking forward to having that and having people come by and, of course, ride in or speak up anytime. And I think I have one final slide. yes, just wanted to express my appreciation for everybody who comes to these council meetings, who speaks up. It's a pleasure to serve on this council and to live in this city. And I really appreciate the community that we have, not only in Bremerton, but Washington as well. And just want to say, if everybody took a moment to attend their local government meetings, I think things nationally would be a lot different. So thank you all for being here. That's it.
Thank you. District 4, Counselor Rebelowski.
First, I really would like to thank Mr. Peterson for coming and advocating for safe bike lanes in Bremerton. The community isn't asking for a lot. We're asking for one north-south and one east-west protected bike lane to start. And as the city grows, we can add more in, but we need something safe, or we cannot have our kids ride bikes in our city. So please just keep commenting, send us letters if you support it, and if you don't support it, send us letters. But I don't know, I want to keep my grandson safe, and I'm getting a new bike, so I want to get out on the road again too. So anyway, keep the comments coming. And then I'm really happy to have my district meeting at a new location now. It's going to be at the Bremerton Food Line, which is beautiful. They're offering up their lobby, and if there's overflow crowds, we can expand into the other areas of the building. Please consider bringing some non-perishable foods to donate too. We're going to be primarily looking at District 4 proposed changes, but Mr. Jackson is always open to any other questions. So I really appreciate his willingness to come again, because he did come once, but now that we're further along in the comp plan process, he's offered to come again before comments are due for the DEIS. So please attend Thursday, November 1st at 5 o'clock at the Bremerton Food Line. That's on 12th Street, between Sydney and High. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, District 5, Counselor Goodnow.
Dave, do you have any slides for me? I didn't think so. Okay. Some might have happened. Do you have any for Anna? Do you have one for the jazz show?
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and loop both Districts 6 and 5 together. Thank you.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Okay. First off, some of the council members have had or are having district meetings, and we have been unable to get one on the calendar. I've got a bunch of travel this month and with the holidays and stuff. So I would invite you to go crash at Jane's or Jeff's or Anna's meeting if you want, or Eric's if he's having one. Yes, he is. Yeah, he's having one as well. So, and all that information was just presented or is on the website. And, or just if you have any specific questions, reach out to myself or Garrett Jackson, and we'll get you answers. I do want to mention again that the Charleston district is having their bike rodeo this weekend. And that is Saturday at 11 a.m. And that's in the area by Spread Supplies, which is one of the parking areas just off of Callow, closer to where the crosswalk used to be before we moved it from that turn, which was kind of rough spot. And then a weird, when it's not that weird, but Anna and I, in somewhat our private lives, have been putting together a jazz show at the Roxy on Tuesday night. Anna had a little cash in her pocket burning a hole. I hope she doesn't mind if I say that. But what we're doing is really cool. We are bringing in really kind of the top jazz musicians that are live right here in Kitsap. So it's Mark Lewis, Ray Olds, and Chris Bickley, I think. I hope I got his name right. But also it is a benefit for the Bremerton food line. You know, we're moving into that season where the demand on the food line is just increasing, especially with the holidays and that. So information on that you can find on the Roxy website, roxybremerton.org. And I think that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have District 7, Counselor Younger.
Okay, thank you. Dave, I think you got a slide for me too.
Eric has slides for real. It's not a joke.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, so everybody's been bringing up these district meetings and don't want to leave the folks of District 7 out. So ours is Thursday, November 14th, starting at 5:30 p.m. You can see the location there is the Oyster Bay Avenue. That's the Public Works Conference Room. And again, Mr. Jackson will be giving a presentation most specifically on comprehensive plan updates for District 7. But you feel free to bring up any other questions you may have, and it's an opportunity to discuss any other issues you may have that you want to bring up with me personally. So I encourage District 7 residents to attend, and anyone else in the city who'd like to attend, you're welcome as well. If you do not or not have a pen and pencil handy, all these public meetings are available on our website. So just go to the City of Bremerton website homepage, check or click on public meetings, and then click on view all events, and you'll see them listed on a calendar basis when these meetings are and at what time. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. And last is me representing District 1. I have no slides, but I wanted to thank Counselor Fry for hosting we had the first of all the counselors' district meetings on the comprehensive plan, and Mr. Jackson did a phenomenal job. It was a good turnout, I think, and we had a really great crowd with great questions. And more than anything, I'm just excited that I know it's been a little controversial in the past for increasing density, but seeing how this houseless crisis has really affected our community, increasing density seems to be just a step in the right direction. Not only legislature having directed us to, but I believe our DCD has been progressive in getting those kinds of policies in place, even ahead of the game. And so excited about the different options that are provided to the community for increasing density. And I think just in summary, today, I think election season is over. Not everything is certified. There's some really great things that have come out of this election cycle. For Washington, I know that we have our Climate Commitment Act has been retained. And so we don't have to worry at a city level about the funding being lost. And we don't have to worry about our ferry systems and our bus systems, Kitsap Transit being affected and all over the state. So I'm grateful to the voters for seeing past some of the propaganda, so to speak, on that. So other good things that have come out, I really appreciated Kitsap Pride sending a very positive email to everybody, just highlighting some of the successes across the country. We now have an openly transgender congressperson, so a congresswoman, so this is amazing. There's a couple states that have their first Black Congress people going into our national legislature. There are some good things, and I just want to just tell everybody to take care of each other. There's a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety for some folks. And more than anything, now is just a time to take care of each other and make connections with your neighbor, regardless of who they might have checked for presidency, for other positions. We're all neighbors, and it's time to take care of each other. That is all I have for tonight. Oh, I have one other thing. Thank you. There's one other announcement. I want to make sure that folks know to come to the 6th Street Bike Lane meeting that's here. It's an open house meeting on Tuesday, November 12th from 5 to 7. And then I have some other announcements to make about the rest of the meeting. Immediately after tonight's meeting, the council will meet for an exempt closed session to discuss or review labor negotiations as allowed under RCW 42.30.1404B. No action is taken at the exempt closed sessions, and we won't be returning to take any action either. Tomorrow, Thursday, November 7th, beginning at 3 p.m., we will be meeting for the final budget workshop for Q&A and our deliberations with among each other regarding the budget. And that'll be at the 6th floor Mayor's Conference Room. Lastly, the next study session will be held in the 6th floor Council Conference Room on Wednesday, November 13th, beginning at 5 p.m. Except for the exempt closed session, the public is welcome to attend all of these meetings in person, or a remote option is available by Zoom. This concludes tonight's regular council business, and our meeting is adjourned. We'll be going into an exempt session following the adjournment. Good night.